Welcome back to Superhuman Customs. I'm Stephen Human, and today we are doing another Batman figure. Now this is Azrael Batman from the White Knight universe. It's also a McFarlane figure. Absolutely awesome detailing, and he is in fact comic accurate. If you look at the pictures, he's all black and he's got these gold pieces and things like that, so he is comic accurate. My problem is that since doing the other Azrael Batman and doing some of these other figures, I found that some of these less detailed figures are just kind of leaving me a little bit bland. So what I'm going to do, even though it's not technically comic accurate, I'm going to add some chrome, some silver details in here on some of these pieces. And I'm going to add a little bit of gray in the face, just in some of the lines. I'm also going to silver up the neck. These are just things that I want to do to make this character, this figure, look cooler. I have no emotional connection at all to this version of Azrael Batman. So I feel very confident in going through and just kind of making some changes. And I think it's going to look really awesome. So let's go ahead and dive in. And all I'm going to be using is the silver. That's it. And I think he's going to end up looking pretty awesome. So let's go. All right, the paints I'm going to be using are my standard metallic that I love and just this craft gray. We're going to be using very little of each of these just to kind of make things match. So I'm just going to add a little bit of the silver here on some of these little swatches there and just see how he kind of looks. And then I kind of want to hit some of these little lines right in here, just again to add some texture to the character. Because it's going to just make him stand out. It's going to make these details pop just a little bit. I'm using a small brush, putting on multiple layers. It's going on pretty thin, which is great. That's what I like about this, just this metallic craft paint, is that it doesn't, this and the blue, the metallics, they go on much lighter than the other craft paints. They go on much more like a Vallejo or a Citadel will do. That's not looking too bad. It's not as tight as I would like, not as perfect, but you guys know me, I'm not necessarily interested in perfection. And I'm just gonna hit some of these other areas. As you can see, my daughters are here watching this and enjoying themselves quite a bit, watching Dad do his thing, and they want to have their faces in there, like their big brother did on his Bane picture. Okay, girls, you gotta, I know you're excited, but I'm still trying to paint. All right, I'm really trying to do some fine stuff in here. And the magnifying glass helps a lot. I wasn't using it earlier, I was concentrating more on the camera. And now with this, I can get it much closer to actually where I want it to be, and there's less spillover. I got a little bit of spillover there, but it wasn't too bad. And I can also see more of the details that I actually want to paint in the chrome. I'm gonna get in these little grooves here in the leg. And again, just make it look like it's got, beneath the surface, a silver underpinning. I'm gonna go up, try and keep it in the groove as much as possible. Remember, your finger's your best friend when you're painting these things. All right, what I've started doing with some of these grooves, I'm just slopping it on now, really quick, just kind of going just blocking on there, and then going through with my finger and wiping it. And as you see, it's staying in the groove exactly where I want, and I'm not getting a lot of the slop over. So I've just started being a little bit less worried about getting it on the surface, making sure it gets in there, and then wipe, and then boom, look at that. Gets right in there. That's working perfect. Wish I'd done that from the beginning. Now back here on the back, you've got these spikes, and I'm gonna paint these spikes silver too. I just think that that's gonna look really cool to go through and have those be silver. So let's paint them silver. And Sam, my 11-year-old, just pointed out that we should paint these silver too. And I thought, you know what? I think that's a great idea. So let's go ahead and do these. This will probably be the biggest difference in the figure is these. And you can see as this paint is going on, it spreads out pretty good. And so it's going to take a couple of coats in order to get this right. But I am fine with that because that means that it's going to and it's going to go on a little bit lighter and give me some opportunity to let it dry and then go back over it, kind of like what I did with the other Azrael Batman with the blue. Okay, what I've decided to do with the head is I'm just going to use the silver paint, and I'm going to do what I was doing with everything else, where I'm going to get it in these cracks and then wipe it with my finger real quick. I think it's going to stand out more than the gray, and it's going to look cooler. It's going to match what I've done on the rest. So let's go in here and let's make this happen and see what we can do. So I'm going to just go really thick right in there and then give it a good wipe. And as you can see, it's got some silver in there. I think that is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to wipe my thumb off, and I'm going to do it again on this other side. And just really thickly just launch it in there. Get it all in there. And then wipe. That's not looking too bad. My 9-year-old thinks he's looking pretty good, so that's always a good sign, if your 9-year-old thinks it's cool. All right, I've decided to turn these buttons silver as well, just to make them stand out from the gold. I was thinking of doing them yellow, but I think they'll look better in silver. So that looks pretty darn good, don't you think? All right, as you can see, the details are really starting to pop. I'm thinking we're about done, but the face has turned out a little bit too much with the silver, I think. It looks a little bit too skull-like. I'm gonna take a little bit of black and go in around some of these areas and try and fix it. And I think that what I might do with the face is add that Nuln oil, some black wash over that. I think that'll tone down some of this silver. I think it will help him to look a little bit less like, oh, I'm a skull. Because I think, yeah, that did go a little bit too far in his face. Just see how this will do. There's a couple of areas in here where I just think there's a little bit of slop. I don't want it to be there. So a little bit of black will help it out. Yeah, that helps straighten it out a little bit. That looks a little bit better. Oh, that helped a lot. Just that one right there. All right, we're gonna add a little bit of Nuln oil to this guy's face and see if that helps tone down some of this silver. And I'm just gonna kind of put it in here and see what it does. I added a little bit of black in there just to tone down where it was around the eyes. And that helped a lot. So we'll see if this does much of anything, or if it, tones it down too much or what. I think that at this point, I'm more on the side of wanting it to be toned down a little bit more than what it is. So I'm willing to go and have it be really toned down on the face so that you're just barely seeing the silver in there. Well, we finished him up. Here he is. I think it turned out really nice. You can see I went and just added in a lot of different places, just some of these highlighted areas, added up here the spikes and his head. I think that it worked out pretty well with what I did when it came to using the wash just to tone down. It was really bright, and so I like this a lot better. So now he's gonna stand out a little bit more on the shelf, particularly next to the other version of Azrael, the blue one. So I'm really happy. I kept looking at him on there and just being like, he seems drab. So I'm really happy with how he turned out. Thank you guys for watching. Feel free to comment, to subscribe. We're doing videos every single week. Next week, who knows what we'll do, but it's gonna be awesome. So I will see you then.